Welcome back to Radio Free Freedonia, where I and my lovely co-host Lady Sticks and our official unofficial co-host Mr. Pink and our always right Maddie.
Always right.
And with us tonight also we've got Philip, a Chicago variant, and Dire Sith Lord. And anybody else who pops in, like right there. See? Hi. Hi JP. So my topic tonight is like maybe weird, maybe not. So I have, what do they call it? Always GM syndrome. Only GM syndrome. What is it? What are they calling it? So I tend to be the person who GMs. I hardly ever get to play. So I got invited to this 5th Ed game a while back. It's very module driven. Some people like that more than others. Okay. So we had a very heated last game. And one person rage quit, like just boom, left the everything, apparently. Like he left the game and then he left the server, I guess like the whole thing, right? But because it was heated and my character was involved in the heated, I messaged him, direct messaged him, "Are you okay? Should I apologize? Like, did I go cross the line with it? Was that what it was? Do I need to apologize?" And he sent back something along the lines of, "No, I'm unhappy with the game. I'm unhappy with the GM, blah, blah, blah." And we had a little back and forth where I was like, I felt like that went really poorly because of how the GM handled certain parts of it. And I was, curious about is his reaction to this or that. It was all about the game, right? Suddenly I get a message a few days later from the GM, who informs me that as a longtime GM myself, I should know better than to direct message another player. That he is the GM and the arbitrator and counselor for the players. And the whole thing was crazy. Like, I've never had a situation like this pop up. But my first thought was initially, what the hell's going, because it goes on a little bit more, but I always expect my players to be adults and talk to each other and try to work stuff out. Does that make sense? Like, this is the weirdest thing. Like, I don't consider myself as a GM somehow your guidance counselor, right? So basically, the message continues on a little bit further and says that I need to respect this other player who has apparently repeatedly told me not to contact him. And don't you know he's a married man? And I'm like, what the hell am I being accused of? So I send screenshots of the entire conversation. He never once asked me not to direct message him. There's nothing outside of discussion of the game. Like, literally. And I sent it to the GM guy and I sent the stuff to the game on their general channel or whatever. I have never in my life been accused of being inappropriate with another player. You know what I mean? Right? Like, never had that happen. So I'm kind of in one where like happy that I have screenshots. Like, I'm just like, boom, that's there's nothing, right? But apparently he accused me of all this because the guy's wife is also in the game. Said that the guy said whatever. And so once I put that up there, basically she tells the GM that she can't possibly play with me and she quit too. Which is really weird because I didn't do anything. But he then continued about how, like, it should all be dropped. He's, glad that I had those and sorry that I got, accused, but, like, it's just all, drop that now. Drop it. And I'm like, I'm kind of the hurt individual in this. I get to be angry if I want. And then he literally texts me something, well, yes, you are the injured party, and that's why, I'm not chastising you. Like, literally said he's not chastising me.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah.
is a prime example of how not to be a GM.
Like, literally,
Don't do this.
I can screenshot that. Like, he typed out literally that, let's see here. "No, you do, and that's why I'm not chastising." Because I said, I'm the wrong party. I get to be sad, right? "You do, and that's why I'm not chastising you." Like, literally says that. I'm just trying as a GM to clear my mind, blah, 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 blah. So here's the thing. One, the other player never said anything negative to me, never said anything about don't contact me, nothing like that. There was nothing inappropriate sexual about any of the discussion. It was literally, I don't think that it's fifth ed that's necessarily the horrible evil. It's not my cup of tea, but it's not the horrible evil, right? I think that it just has a lot of either usually newer GMs or very module driven GMs, which can feel railroady, which isn't my play style. And, right? There's nothing there. Like, I was so mad. I actually put all of the images up on X2. Like, nope. Not getting used to that shit. But more importantly, this woman is another player. She didn't come to me and ask me anything. She goes to him and he blows up and basically, how dare you prove you didn't do it type of thing, which was, in my opinion, kind of crazy. I feel like there's a lot of stepping over the lines and a lot of, that's, in my opinion, not how GMs behave, right? And then as far as like the chick leaving, he's like, well, you understand. I mean, that's just how, couples. And I'm like, again, I don't seem to like surrounding myself with people who behave like this. Like, no, I expect my partner or partners, whatever the heck is going on in my universe, right, to act like adults. I expect my players to act like adults. Then that's not to say that if there's a disagreement about something in the game and they can't come to an agreement on their own, that I wouldn't be happy to help with that, right? But is it me? Is this too far? Is this where GMing has gone now? Have I like missed the boat? And I'm somehow like old school and the new school seems to think that we should be guidance counselors and you can't talk to each other. You have to talk to the GM. Like,
I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say this has absolutely nothing to do with GMs. This is how people should fucking behave.
so you don't think I'm
it's also
crazy?
it's how people are behaving today as well. And people
Yeah,
today
I mean,
are
it's like,
fucking wrong.
Like, this guy is my age-ish, and I'm just sitting here, with the literally, I mean, I could go back and read the exact quote. I don't know if I need to. But basically, it was something along the lines of, as a long-term GM, you should know better. And I'm like, as a long-term GM, I expect you to fucking act like adults. Like, what do you mean I should know better?
Like I said, as a human being, I expect you to act like this.
It's
You have
the
to
weird
understand,
shit.
that's the greatest GM who ever lived. And they get to decide how GM should act. Because they run 5th ed out of modules just like they've been told to.
Right.
So you should know better.
Okay.
So
I'm going to give
Sarah actually.
Sarah, it's a lack of communication. They don't. So here's the thing. So I had made a few months ago a joke about I'd taken a picture and I was calling it risque or something like that. And we were talking about it and Philip said something about it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to ask Sarah because you guys are married. We know this. It's not a secret, right? And she's like, well, show me. So I sent it to her. And here's the thing. Sarah will back me up. It is not that risque of a picture overall in the grand scheme of, no. For me, it's risque, right? But like I sent it to her. I don't think I even sent it to Phil because we both know that once Sarah has it, she can show it to him or not. You're probably 2 feet from each other. But the point being is
more risque than the troll smut?
Because it's an actual picture of me, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't usually do that. You can ask Lady Six.
Too.
I'm not, as a general whole, and it wasn't that risque. I did think it was a pretty good picture, though.
It was cute.
See, thank you.
It was cute.
It was cute. So, I am not that type of person that you would and understand. One, we were all joking about it, and it wasn't an out of the blue. I'm sending, but I'm like, what is going on here? Like, you didn't come to me and say, hey, did my husband ask you to quit messaging him? Because I would have just sent her the stuff and it probably wouldn't have been as, I guess, public in the fact that I put them up in the public channel. But here's the thing. I don't know what BS is being said behind my back. So I'm just going to be the person I am, which is, here's everything. I don't I don't really hide stuff for the most part.
May
So
I
I
ask a
think
question for clarification? Oh, sorry, lady.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My question now, did she tell you this, or is this all once again related through the GM?
It's all through the GM with two sort of exceptions. And I'll say this.
It could be
She made some
100% nonsense.
rude-esque comment in the general about me, but it was very vague, right? It's very much an I'm angry at you tone, but it's very vague about the why. And then after I put all of the here is what do young people call it, receipts. Here's all the screenshots of the entire conversation. Literally from the front part where it says, you've started your legendary whatever, because it says something like that when you first message somebody, right? So like you can see the entire thing, you can see the timeline. Like I did not message him until after he had quit the game. And my first question was, are you okay? Did I do something that upset you? That was like the beginning, right? So does that clarify? Like, so pretty much everything I'm told is from the GM. But after I posted all that, she left everything. She left the server, the whole thing. I think in part she's probably just embarrassed because her husband told her lies and she, at best, her husband told her lies and she fell for it and he, which is so dumb because all of that stuff can be like screenshot, right? Like, why would you even make that up as a lie? But at the same time, he's been very vague about other than I've been asked not to talk to him and he's a married man, which is again very vague. But
That's stupid.
right? But I'm like, I have never in my life even considered looking at my players and going, how dare you talk to each other? You have to talk to me, and then I will make the decisions. Like, is this the new norm now? Because I don't know that I want to play with people like that.
My
Here's the
experience as
thing.
both a player and a GM, we are DMing like mad between each other to plot.
See, I've never had a problem with it, and I've now been via text, or not text, but via the interwebs, where at a regular table it would be harder because you'd be like trying to pass notes, so we just usually just talk at each other, right? But on this, yeah, I mean, I've DM'd in players and as a GM and as a player, and never had an issue. Go ahead, lady Sticks.
So here's the thing that comes up actually in a conversation I have with my oldest child fairly often. And it's two separate issues, but it's kind of has a bridge that is an overriding issue of it all. The first conversation that we have is privacy is a right, and if you give it away, it doesn't matter how great the free service is, you've given away your right to privacy. And they're like, but everybody, that's just expected. It just happens. That's her argument. And then the other one that we have really often ties directly into this topic, which is, wow, Mom, you are so old-fashioned in your manners. And my response is always, manners don't change. What changes is your acceptance of what you're willing to accept. And it used to be, a very long time ago, that manners were the bridge that crossed all society, that was one of the forms of reference, right? You tipped your hat to a lady, you always curbed your dog, like, stupid things. Now, however, her argument is, well, but nobody does that anymore. And it's because, and I always come back with, I taught you manners, you know what they are. She's like, yeah, but like none of my friends use them. Nobody now uses that or does that. And I'm like, that's only because they're allowing it to not be used. And the overwhelming arc of that is, between the two topics, is permissiveness and laxity of acceptance, if that makes sense. If you find it acceptable that everything should go through you as the GM and you are the end all be all of not just the game, but the group dynamics, and your players find that acceptable, then that's the case. As a player and a GM, I would never find that acceptable behavior, ever. If someone came to me and did that, I would be like, bye-bye. Either I'm leaving or you're leaving, but this relationship ain't going to happen in this way, right? It's just not appropriate. It shows a very distinct lack of social awareness and social skills. I would hope my GM would expect me to be able to behave like an adult, both in game and in my interactions with them, but also in game with my interactions with the rest of the players on the party. And I would hope my players would expect the same of me. And I think that my opinion is there's a distinct breakdown in that group. I would never play telephone through a GM. GMs have so much work that they're keeping track of and doing anyway.
Right.
I
And
mean,
I would think
why would
parenting
you want
isn't part of that.
And that was literally my next thought. It's like, that is way more work than I want to put into being a GM, period.
exactly?
Welcome to
I mean,
joining.
maybe I'm doing it wrong, but hey.
Like I said, there's a little part of me that's like, okay, so I guess because he already rage quit, right? And now the wife has quit. Is that going to change the dynamic enough to make it worthwhile to stick around? And then it's things like, maybe I'm being overly crazy woman here because apparently I'm now a crazy cat lady because I have 5 kittens. The crazy cat lady starter kit, obviously, but the term chastised really irked me. Like, really, really irked me. One, I always expect my players to act like adults. 2, I expect my partners to act like fucking adults, right? Why would you lie about something like that? That's ridiculous and creating drama that's not my day-to-day life. I don't do that.
To me, Andy,
and
it
then
comes through as
the
very
chastised part just comes across really ick. But go ahead, tell me what you think. Maybe I'm crazy.
I was going to say, to me, it comes through as very misogynistic. And this is something that I experienced when I first started gaming as a young teenager, which was there wasn't a lot of girls. So as a girl, I either, of course, had to be someone's girlfriend, or I had no clue what I was doing, and I was going to play the absolute ditz airhead, or I wouldn't know how to do it, or whatever. And this is a horrible case of that same thing followed this person into their adult life. It's like they didn't get. I'm sure that they probably also said that, relationships. Of course, the girl's going to be all possessive and horrible and dictatorial and or aggressive to other people because her partner chooses to maybe not be truthful. It's an unacceptable stereotype in gaming and in real life. Does that make sense?
And I'll be honest, I've had tables where people were married or dating. I even had in a World of Darkness game a character that was in a budding romance that turned into a very steamy-esque romance on paper. It was very closed door at the table, right? And the GM was the guy's girlfriends. They lived together thing, right? And there was a point where I was like, wait, is this getting too far? Is this? And she laughed her ass off. She's like, this is some of the best. Keep going. It's great, right? I have direct message players. I've never once, hi hot dog, in any of that time been accused of being inappropriate or going past the line or anything like that. And it was so weird.
Okay, so Mr. Pink,
so weird.
Mr. Pink commented on the text board that I don't always adult well. And I can agree with that, Mr. Pink. However, I am adult enough, even in my either chosen non-adultedness times or when I know that I'm having issues, that I can at least communicate that. There are days that I look at Andy and I'm like, nope, no adulting today. The communication just ain't happening.
Well,
Talk
and
to you tomorrow.
I've even had those moments where just my brain is stupid and
Yeah.
right. But I don't feel like this is a
And there
brain
are
is
times when
stupid. This felt like very culturally like what the fuck land.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is that
Thank you,
is that
Philip.
person is
I'm not
different.
look, Lady Six has known me for close to 2 decades now. I'm not much of an
Yeah.
adult. But I'm usually polite. It
There
was
are
just
times
so
when
weird.
in-person meetings break down into color crowns and bubbles, and that is the best way to end a meeting. I'm just saying.
So, yeah, the keyword communication, we're faking
Nice
it 1,000%.
comparison.
Yes, Sarah, we are totally faking it most of the time. So I guess, JP, if you don't want to talk, you can type stuff and we'll read it. Lady Six is very good at poking me and catching comments. Or you can
And
talk.
we're having a very
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah.
So I just
We're
didn't
having
want
a
to
very
interrupt.
Oh,
But
hey, join
yeah,
in.
no
Give us
worries.
your opinion.
hearing going on here. Obviously, I don't have the whole story, but I have your side of the story. My thought is a GM's duty begins with meet at a tavern and ends with roll for initiative. To go through the GM to try to talk to another player about something that happened or their feelings about a game session, unless it involves the GM, they don't need to be there. It's a game, not a cult. GM is a referee, not a cult leader. So, it's not for them. It's not for them to interject player to player conflict. And something that I have done, if I have an issue with, say, an underage player, I will talk to their parent and ask permission to say, can I talk to them after the game? Or can I talk to them, in a couple of days?
If it was a
That way it
minor,
doesn't
yeah.
seem creepy.
No, if it was a
And
minor, yeah,
kinda
I can
use
see that.
I sort of use that same principle also if I have to talk to somebody's mate of the opposite sex. So, or
And
of the same, whatever.
that's an interesting idea. As I know a lot of guys wouldn't necessarily direct message a female player that they know is married. They might feel uncomfortable with that. As a woman, I've never felt like it was a big deal. I'm not saying anything illicit in that type of regard, right? So, and I know that some people are more jealous. I know there are people who have like joint Facebook accounts, which I think is a little cray cray, to be honest with you.
Yeah, to me, a
Is
joint
it?
Facebook account is basically the sign of doomed relationship.
It actually, in my opinion, usually means
Also,
that somebody
I think-
cheated.
Right, it's a doomed relationship, one way or the other. And I think what it sounds like, this guy is having way too much of a control issue, that he's unwilling to allow others to have an interaction without him. He's just trying to micromanage, or he's like a helicopter parent, but a DM version of it. He doesn't need to be there for everything, but he seems to think he does.
So my
So he's a
biggest
helicopter DM.
I will say this, my biggest pet peeve, and I realize that I guess I put up with more as a player because I don't get to play very often, right? And he does this all the time. He tells you how your character feels about something. You don't even get to react because he's telling the table, well, your character is really happy about that.
Yeah,
Have you-
that's.
I've
he
always
wants to
hated
be-
that.
Maybe
Like,
this.
go
He
ahead.
wants
I was
to be a
gonna say, maybe-
director of a film. To be a
I was
director of
gonna
a
say,
film,
have
he
you-
wants to write a
Maybe this
script.
isn't the group for you.
Again,
He needs to write it as a story and let everybody else go
well, but
go
it's
on
already
their
written
merry
as a
way.
story. He's a module. He's a module GM. It's already written as a story. So I've always and maybe you guys have an opinion on this. I find that GMs who are strictly module, every time it's a new module, tend to be very railroady. And maybe that's just my experience with it. What do you guys think? Are GMs who are very dependent on modules railroady? Not just it's the person and I just run into the wrong ones. What do you guys think? Let's start
I've
with
been both.
Natty.
I've been both. I've published both my adventures, both handwritten and modularly, and I don't think I've been too railroading. Like,
I think some module GMs are fairly railroady just because they don't know how to handle it if you go off the rails.
yes, that.
I'm not saying they're trying to railroad you. They just don't know how to do it any other way.
Let's that goes back to and this is a mature GM opinion where we have to be able to let our players have their agency. You can even do that with a module, but if your players, you don't want to keep it on the rails. You just want to let them have their diversions, and then if you have to have certain points to trigger certain other things in that adventure, put them in the
Okay,
way
so
of the players, but don't force the players to go down the road. Just put
Right.
them in the road
It's
where they're
the
going to have to hit them eventually.
It's the old school trick of you went into room A and there was nothing in room A, so I just happened to put all the stuff in room C that was fun and cool in room A. That's not how the module's written. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You kind of alter.
Yeah, but wait.
That's
So
the rare time I do a module and I have a hard time sticking with them. I find that too many times the players have read them and it just kind of foobar stuff. So we go off the rails usually pretty quick. But I'll take maps out of
I
them and
guess,
things. Go ahead. Nate
yeah, I
Six.
guess for me, part of it is I think that there are far too many people who allow the excuse of, oh, well, he's a module GM to make classify that behavior as potentially acceptable. It depends, I guess, on what you need and want out of a GM. For me, as a GM, my expectations of my player groups are that we as together are creating a scenario or a game. It's my job to present opportunities and then we together create a world, a situation, character development, whatever, through a campaign, through one-offs, whatever, that is going to get everybody to a happy destination. I get what I want because they get eventually have to fight the bad guy or discover the thing or whatever it is that I'm hoping that they achieve. Now, if it takes us 20 times to do that because they keep, saving the pet pig or unstopping the well for the next town over or whatever, great. If that's what they need to do on their journey to finally get to where I need them to be, they're having a good time. That's fine. I think
There's a right
that,
way.
well, according to module GMs, there is, because the assumption is they get locked into it has to
Right.
go the way the module goes. And I think
Right. And
that
that's where they lose it, because there's the right way, the wrong way, and then the way that the players get it done. Because
exactly.
the
And I
players
think
tend to do something that no one thought about during playtesting, because it's not
exactly
people who
modules
playtested it, it's
are
not people
a
who wrote.
guide, not the end all be all. It has to go this way. I mean, they're a general storyline to help you
Okay.
get to where
So
you want to be. That makes
someone
sense, in
on
my
the
opinion.
company publishing side, even if you playtest it and you could playtest it 1,000 times to get the 1,000 different ways that players will throw monkey wrenches, you'd never be able to write for all of those. And I always believe that as a GM, well, yeah, no duh. That's why you kind of have to go somewhat the flow. Philip, I'm gonna get your opinion, but I'm gonna catch Savage up. Hi, Savage. Thanks for coming. Savage, you saw the text that I sent the guy because I put him up on X because I'm like, I am not fucking with that. Basically, generally, what we're talking now about is, are GMs who tend to only use modules more railroady than sandbox GMs? What do you think? I put him on the spot. I broke Savage.
And he's totally muted too.
Well, okay. Well, we try to poke Savage. Philip, what about you? What's your opinion? Are they more likely to be
Okay.
railroady?
So the from what little time I've been able to actually play games, because I'm afflicted with the same curse as yourself, I have noticed there is a tendency for railroading with modules, but that is not the actual problem with modules. The problem with modules is that a lot of people who run them forget that you need to have the players have characters that have bought into it. If they're on this
Oh my gosh,
module,
that
it
helps
has
so
to be
much.
for something. It has to be for something more important than this. If you are going against Strahd, if you're going to like Baravia and something like that, and you're facing that, you have to. You can't just take this is a person who's going to be sacrificed to a vampire. Make it a brother or a sister or a friend, something that matters to the players. You have to make it personal because the second they buy into it, it doesn't matter if they're literally waiting at the train station for the railroad, they're cool with it because their characters care about it.
Okay, so what started the big blow up, and it was probably one of the most role playing heavy we've had this entire time we played, is the group was hired to get these griffin eggs and bring them back. Now these people who have them, they have the mother griffins, but they use the griffins and train them and use them in combat. They're like a military group. And the GM made a big deal about how you have to be careful, otherwise you'll imprint on them. And I started my character right from the start making jokes about, yes, quote, accidentally imprinting. And buying a special super soft blanket just in case one accidentally imprints on her, right? Like, I don't know how to make this any clearer that she totally telegraphs she's going to try to imprint. Game situations happen. She imprints not on one, but manages to imprint on all of them. Okay. The one that she imprinted on first, I guess, comes out, according to the GM, is cracking out of its shell. And in my character's head, I hear, Mommy, Mommy, where are you? Well, of course, my character yells, I'm coming, baby. Right? And then the big fight ends. We have all the little griffins. She's imprinted on all of them. The clientele basically shows up and says, give over the babies. Oh, sorry, they've already imprinted. My bad. So sad. The other characters were not super into this idea. She's basically talking out this whole, they can be great draws for the tavern. It'll be awesome marketing. The GM interrupts with and tells the one character who basically quit that his character knows that if we leave with the babies, that the forest itself, which is somewhat sentient in this setting, will reject him as a ranger. And being rejected by the forest is blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and basically says that my character knows that, having these griffins will be a great boon in her court. And, it somehow is important to her because of that, which is not why it was important to her. Nobody asked. But this is what the whole fight's about is he's now even not just told us how we feel about it, but he's creating backstories for our characters without talking to us. And then, that's why your character needs to be mad and start this fight. And then after she basically loses out because they take the babies because it apparently didn't matter that they imprinted, which I didn't understand that. Like, if you make this big deal about if you do these things, they'll imprint and la la la, and you can hear it in your head, right? Then why make it so it doesn't matter and they're just going to take them anyways? And then he pulls this parting shot off of, how do you put it? As they're leaving with the babies, my character has walked off because she can't win the fight, so she's walked off. She can hear basically this whole conversation with the one baby going, Mama, Mama, don't leave me, Mama, right? And then the adult tells them something along the lines of, oh, look at her. She doesn't look like you. She's not your real mother, and walks off. So again, what was the imprinting at all about? What the fuck with that? So then they're like, well, we're going to get this money and we're going to get this magic wand. Don't you want the magic wand? I'm like, she walked off. She left. I didn't leave the game. My character left. She didn't care about the money or the trinket. And again, nobody asked what the character did care about, which I found really interesting. And that's why I was wondering, like, maybe my playstyle is just too different for the GM or this group, because any game I've ever played in, I think that the other players' characters would have been like, what does it matter? Why do you want the damn Griffins anyhow? Or after you left, at least going, hey, are you okay? To the character. And he just kind of rushed through and none of that happened. It was really weird. So
I don't think he cares what his characters or what his players' characters are interested in. They are just a prop to get the group farther along, and individual needs are not as important as achieving what the goal is for the module, what the prizes are for the module. Does that make sense?
yeah, it's really weird. Like and again, for me, I keep wondering is this, because I don't believe it's fifth ed that's doing it. I think this type of GM is attracted to fifth ed. But I feel like it's module heavy once because they just don't know how to handle it not being the thing that they think it should be. Mr. Pink?
Are you saying you want to try to win at D&D?
I see. I don't, but I don't know what's going on. Maybe that's the point now.
I mean,
Okay, wait. There was a comment made by Sarah on the boards that I need to read because I believe we've all been there, okay? And it goes like this. Day 135, the GM has us hostage. There is no longer fun. We are low on snacks. We don't know what we're playing anymore. The GM has grown his power by our suffering and us listening to his fantasies.
Honestly, Sarah, that is how I feel about this right now. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
I put the little crown on there because, like, and again, like, I don't get to play that often anymore. Is this what gaming has evolved to?
maybe.
Only if you allow it. I have a general rule, but unless I have a lot of conversation with the GM, I rarely, if ever, agree to play modules. If it's a starting point, then I'm happy to jump in with both feet. If it is, we play the modules and then we play another module and then we play another module. Usually just because I know it's probably not going to feed the needs I have as a player, I would choose not to get involved with that kind of group. But there have been times when I thought it was going to be great and you get involved. And then the question is, how do you extricate yourself without coming off as being really pissy?
Oh yeah, that's the next part. So, like, the guy who rage quit, that's never a good look. And so, since I had been, before the woman got all pissy, and I found out that apparently I was, I guess, I don't, whatever with it, I was asking the other players, like, is there a reason nobody asked? Is this how, and I did something that may have pissed him off, because I literally was like, is this how the story that we want to tell as a group is going to go? Because he rushed, like, my character had walked off and he just goes, well, you guys collect your bounty. And, and I'm like, they didn't follow her. They didn't. And several of them, when I brought up the question, was like, well, I don't know which way she left, so I don't know if my character saw her. And I'm like, she walked out the same way she came in. So there's a good chance you would have seen her. Well, I'm sure we would have gone back to the tavern. Well, if you went back to the tavern, then you could have talked to her at the tavern. And they're like, well, I mean, what if she was being sneaky? She wasn't. She just walked out. Never said anything about sneaky, right? And so I literally asked, like, is that how we want the story to go? If that's how we want the story to go, I'll work on a new character. But is that actually how we as a group? And I find it really interesting that I don't see enough GMs do that. Sit down with the table and go, okay, guys, this went haywire. There was a big kind of tension thing, and this guy like rage quit, and let's sit down and talk about how we, telling our story, want this to go. Do GMs just not do that anymore? Do we not ask the group, is this the story we want to tell? What do you guys like? What's your
Some do,
experience
some
with that? I don't know if Savage is actually back. Let's JP. You want to start? Do GMs still do that? Do GMs not do that? Do you hate it when GMs do it? What's your opinion?
All my stuff is very open world, so I believe in the players are there to play the game. I only facilitate the world building. You know, I'm not really. I mean, the story comes from the play, having an actual storyline. You know, setting up BGs, and up with their motivation. That's fine, but I want the players to tell their own story. So as far as saying, well, this is the theme of this adventure, and we're going to try to do this and this, I've never really done anything more with modules than just mine them for good ideas. You know,
That's me. I just steal things, maps, ideas, characters, NPCs from somewhere else.
And
so
I
as
will.
far as-
Whoops. I have to say that, I have flat out to their faces told my characters, I seriously don't give a fuck what you do. Do what you want. It'll be fun. More or less, guys, just dance for me, monkeys.
I don't.
And they're okay with that.
I don't really do modules. I
mean,
have a hard time sticking with them, but I expect my players to help direct the story to what they find interesting. Because if they're interested, we tell a better story. I was gonna say, go ahead.
If there's a time clock going and a countdown, they have so much time to get something done. Say by the next full moon or something, and they fail, that's going to affect the world. But I mean, I'm not going to push them. That's up to the players to make that happen. And if the world gets cracked in half by the meteor that's been summoned by the celestial wizard,
and you knew about it,
sorry,
and you didn't do anything, that's your fault. Yeah, I get that.
I can't push them to succeed.
No. So, Philip, you had a good point. I thought a good point in the text. The strange thing is most modern RPGs stress player communication. And again, that's what I thought. I am a very big believer in we as a group are telling a story together, right? So I stress that very much. Is that your experience with most people? Is this just an outlier? What do you think?
I think that there's some. I'm going to jump in here. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say your name wasn't Philip.
I know. Sorry, Philip. I think that there's some facet of society that are unable to break out of but this is how it's supposed to happen. There are whole groups of role players, though much less now than there used to be, that like all they've ever done is module stuff. They haven't had someone like, look, I created a world, or I'm going to riff off of this. We're not playing it exactly. I used to jokingly say, it's amazing how freed my mind became when I stopped doing choose your own adventures and actually following the story, and I read it from page 1 to the end. It was amazing because I got all the stories and I was able to do it all. Took a while, but I did it. But there are people who they don't know there's a different way to do it, and if that's what you're used to, if you've never had anything else, then that's what you expect. Does that make sense? Okay, Phil, I'd like to hear your opinion.
Okay, yeah, now we'll go to the original Philip. I love you so much, Lady Sticks.
Let me backtrack. One sec. All right, because I was trying to type something and it not turned into a pun, and I failed, so I got a little bit sidetracked.
How funny of you!
Yeah. What did you want my opinion on? Sorry, because I kept on
you
trying to.
You had put the post about that most modern RPGs stress player communication.
Oh, yeah.
And I had said that that's how I feel about it. I feel like we're telling a story together as a group, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, are you finding tables that are more player communication? Or are you finding more of this railroady? I don't know what the hell's going on over here. Like, what are you seeing out there?
I find that a lot of younger players have issues with getting. They try to very quickly set up a kind of a safety blanket for themselves, and for a lot of them, that safety blanket is D&D 5th Ed. They've figured out how it works. They know how to gamify it. They know how to, take advantage of everything they can with it, but they don't know how to role play. And that is what I find is the issue, is that, like, to communicate with people, you need to, it's hard to get some people just, here, take a leap. I have this game you've never played before. I absolutely, trust me, you will at least have some fun with this. And that is what I find is the biggest hurdle, is that people take this stuff, and yeah, sometimes Stranger Things, sometimes all the super professional live shows, those do have, like, they've gone and set an expectation for some things that just aren't real. Yeah, I mean, that's that, like, Critical Role, Dimension 20, I like these things, but you have to remember, like, if you're watching something like Dimension 20 and you're expecting that to be your result, that is a professional GM and who is also an improvisational comedian and a whole room of improv comedians
who are also all told beforehand where we're going and where we're ending. Like, they know the general story that they're supposed to be telling. They've already agreed on that before they sat down. They may not have, like, strictly every little word, but they got rails.
But I mean, that's also the thing, is they make sure their characters, though, are brought into the rails. That's what I think a lot of people forget, is that every one of those characters who play one of those professional games, all of those characters have a very specific reason for being there. And while they miss that, they take away the other part, which is hey, if I just run this will be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, JP, you're exactly right. A lot of the live plays aren't organic. They have a, So Savage, to catch you up, I was talking about how, and you saw the post on X at least, so I put all of this is what was said. There was nothing, I was never asked, don't DM me. There was nothing inappropriate. You saw that because I was so mad I posted it.
Yeah, I did.
But we're talking about told the GM at some point that, like, I'm hurt. I'm the injured party here. I get to, because he wanted to he took down, because I put it up in the general chat room. He took that down and goes, well, now we know the truth, but now we're going to move on. And I'm like, I think I can be mad if I want to, right? And he basically sent me this message about how he wasn't going to chastise me. Literally used the term chastise. And I got to thinking about it, because when he first started off, it was this whole, how dare you talk to another player? You should come to me. You're a longtime GM. You ought to know better, right? And it got me to thinking, no, and I don't even agree with that. Like, I've been GMing for 3 fucking decades. I expect my players to be adults and talk to each other. If there's some sort of disagreement and they can't come to terms on their own, I'm perfectly fine being asked to intervene, but why wouldn't my players talk directly to one another? Like, I feel like that's weird as hell. And he then referred to the GM as, the moderator, not just in the game, but like outside the game type of thing. I'm like, what? Let alone I don't think
you're not a zebra.
He should be chastised. Actually, I am a zebra, but that's a whole other story.
Well, what I mean.
So really quickly, the symbol for EDS, because there's a whole, if you hear hoofbeats and you hear whatever, it's probably a horse, not a zebra. Well, EDSers are actually zebras. It gets mistaken for a ton of other stuff before they tend to figure it out. So I'm a zebra. Weird, I know. So, but the general gist of the conversation is that where GMing has gone? Do people expect the GM to be basically parental? Because I feel like, no, I was already parented. I am done being parented. I'm a legal adult. I'm not very adulty, but I'm a legal adult. So what do you think? Do you think that GMing has moved on past that? Then the other questions were things like, and you can pick what you want to talk about. I feel like GMs that only do modules tend to be very much more railroady than GMs who can do sandbox and things like that. And then the last one I think was, is this just lack of communication and all that? Is that just where things are going? Because as Philip had mentioned, most of the RPGs I see in the modern era push the communicate. And I'm a big person of the we're telling a story together, right?
Right.
Are we just saying that as lip service, but we don't mean it anymore? So you pick whichever one you want to jump in here on.
Well, I've got two, and I've got an interesting story for the point of like the GM having to step in versus the players, moderating themselves, caring for their own P's and Q's, And I'm gonna by saying this worked out fine, other than I was a little bit bummed at the ending personally. I had no issue with players, I had no issue with GM, nobody had issue with me. This was Brownstein we were playing, team. And problem was basically we were getting ready for this big final battle, and we're like, we've located the source of corruption and evil in this kingdom. We're all going to go underground and frickin', free this thing that will reverse things and put things to rights. Okay? And the week before, I was in stream with one of the other players, and we ended stream and we're all chatting afterwards, and he lets drop. He says it like he thinks I know it. And he lets drop, oh, by the way, I'm not actually a good guy. I'm actually going to find this thing, kill it, and wear its body as a mech suit so I can rule over the kingdom for the next 10,000 years.
I mean, that is I guess a character drive. I mean,
yeah, that's what I mean. That was totally fine. He, for whatever reason, figured that out or knew that. So for the next week, I sat on that and I was like, what the hell do I do with this? Because I can go shank him in the back before he gets there. My character doesn't really know that. It's going to be very, very odd. Or I can go, good, I know what my character knows, which is none of this. And let things take their course.
In character versus out of character knowledge? Crazy talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're getting kind of iffy there.
The point was, I was like, okay, this guy is literally just talking shop with me and the other host, Patty. You know him, Andy. And he just let slip, yeah, I'm totally going to sabotage these guys because I'm pretending I'm the good guy and I'm pretending I'm the victim and this and that. I'm going to go do blah, blah, blah. You know that, right, Brewski? And I was like, oh, no, I did not. So I kept that to myself. And the DM, like when he found out, he was like, wait, so he dropped that to you on stream a week before and you didn't act on it. You didn't do anything. You didn't like meta yourself to be the hero of the game or something. I was like, no, it seemed right to me. He's like, I mean, you can always come to me with that stuff, but like, I respect your integrity. So point being, I made the call myself because yeah, that is a story we tell. I felt like crap about it, but everyone was like, nah, dude, you kept player versus PC separate. So good.
Yes, that's me. Like I believe my players should be adulty enough to keep in and out of characters separate. I mean, have accidents happened, I'm sure, but usually I tend to play with people who can, I don't know, do that. Crazy.
Yeah. But that just kind of leads, I guess that answers the question. Yeah, I believe players should, hold their own hands and, play
Be
nice
adults.
and get along and, be adults, grow a pair,
So
or, internalize a pair, whichever.
here's a good question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot because I know you have a lovely wife that you care about immensely. See? I pay attention. We have actually, and here's the thing, we've actually, you and I have actually direct messaged, right? I think over on X, okay? Nothing inappropriate.
Uh-huh.
Was your wife pissed off? Because we were discussing the whole, and JP brought up a point, and I'm wondering that if as a woman, me direct messaging might tick off wives more, or like maybe guys are afraid to direct message women because it might be seen in, right? Do you think that there's a gender dynamic to that? That like I should never DM the guy because I know he's married? Because I don't think of it in terms of I'm not hitting on the guy, so why does it matter? But maybe I'm socially missing the point. Does that make sense as a question? What do you think?
Yeah, it does. So two things. One, the last podcast we were all together, the first one I jumped in, he was in the room, could hear you guys, knew we were back and forth. And
that's how we got Sarah.
Adored you from the first.
That's how we got Philip's wife, Sarah. She was listening, and we kept like, "What do you think, Sarah?" And she'd yell things. It was great. You should have. It's Lizzie, isn't it? Lizzie, yeah. You should have her yell things in too. She can join. We're cool with this.
She's over at university tonight. I'm by my onesie, but I'm just telling you that night she was here. She was in. She totally adores you. So you're good.
Hey, look. I am an old person. You never piss off the wife. I have been dealing with mostly guy players my entire life. We've had people we had one guy who got married. We were in the middle of a game, like 2-3 years into this game, and he got married. And he's like, "Well, I'll be back." And I'm like, "No, you won't. Because you're going to go on your honeymoon. You're going to do all that stuff. She's going to want alone time with you for a little bit. You just got married. I'm going to do this basically pseudo one-off, which was more like 3-4 games, while you settle into marriage. Because we never piss off the wife." See, right, JP? We never piss off the wife. It's a bad idea.
Right.
Yeah, all the Papillons cannot be wrong.
My honest opinion, my honest 2 cents, when you have someone that is like, "Oh, no, you can't have women DM you. No, you can't have any women talking to you." Usually tells me 2 things. Number 1, they've done things to the husband they don't want to find out about. And if the husband's the possessive one, he's done things or behind the wife's back that he doesn't want her to know about.
Well, and see, that was one of the things, because you saw the messages. There is nothing inappropriate in there at all. And he never once said, "Correct. Don't DM me," right? So what type of weird drama bullshit is it between those two? Because there's some weird drama bullshit there. Like, he either is lying and making this shit up, or she's working herself into a tizzy without even, like there's something weird with that dynamic, I think.
I'm going to make it I'm going to make this really, really simple. And I'm pretty sure you guys can all relate to this. I'm going to give you a scenario, okay? And you don't have to tell me what it was. Think with it and take a look at this, okay? Think of a time when you did something you knew you should not have done. It can be in-game, out of game, I don't really care, but you knew damn well that was wrong. Okay? Question the first.
Yeah, we've all made mistakes.
After you did it, correct. There's a mistake, and then there's okay, this was wrong. This is not heinous, I'm going to jail for 10 years wrong, but this is wrong.
Oh, okay. When I was married to my daughter's father, right? We were at this one game, and there were actually 3 female players and 4 guys playing, right? One of the other female players looked at my then husband and in character asked him for a contract for he was going to protect her, and in return, her character was going to give his character sexual favors, and literally wanted to write up a contract and have his character sign this as an actual piece of paper, not even just a discussion in game. And I thought it was the weirdest shit ever. But I wasn't pissed off about it. It's just weird. But I would say that that's a wrong thing to do
Right.
in a game. Typically, I think that's kind of weird, a little wrong, maybe.
Okay.
But so somebody does something you shouldn't have.
Right. So, and I'm thinking more of real life because typically when you're doing it in a game, it's not as serious. This is the mechanic. Okay.
Okay, so like if you're a child
So
and
what-
you steal something, you know you shouldn't have.
Right.
Who knows? You're just trying it out,
Right.
potential, whatever. Okay.
Right. You took something from your friend's house when you stayed over. You took something from the store, and a couple minutes later, your mom or your dad goes totally innocently. They just go, "Ooh, where'd you get that?" How do you feel instantly?
Shame?
Why are we being audited?
Or what?
You're not.
We're talking about.
You're not. I would.
No. We're talking about things. So, but
Yeah.
let's say, yeah. So you feel shame and things like that. I mean, that's why children usually lie. They don't want to get in trouble. They lie because trust me, I as a substitute teacher, I deal with a lot of children who lie.
But specifically when they ask you the question, and they don't they do not know you took something. They do not know you stole something. How do you feel right when they ask the question?
I don't know.
Okay.
I will be
Well,
honest with you. And Lady Six will back me. I don't always connect to feelings. I think like you're supposed to.
Okay.
Okay, wait, Andy, it's not as you're supposed to. It's that your brain is wired is different.
Yeah.
People who are neuroatypical have different thought patterns and
Yeah.
different ways that they associate that.
Yeah.
So,
Like so at the funeral today, because I had to go to, and I ended up hugging the mom of the child who passed, who I'd worked with like twice, and we laughed because that's the most I've ever hugged her, and I've known her for 4 years, and she's a huggy human. I'm just not. So it was sad, funny, but so go ahead. So you were saying this is how people usually feel.
When someone does that a shit ton, okay, when they are more on the end that they are doing stuff more often that they really shouldn't be doing or letting things happen that shouldn't be, and it gets to a point of being more compulsive and more frequent, the chance that someone else might find out about it drives them nuts. So even you talking to someone, okay, you just having a conversation, and the guy says, "Oh yeah, I talked to Andy." Oh shit, is what's going on in their head. One for one, I've seen it every single time.
So you think that he felt bad about it because whatever weirdness between those two, so he just made up a lie that I was harassing him rather than just saying, yeah, we were talking about what happened in the game and I wasn't happy about it, and you know.
There was something untoward there on his part. Possibly his wife or someone else around him found out or was close to finding out, and it.
Oh, you
put
think
him
it's
off.
it's a red herring? Go look at this over there. Don't pay attention to what I actually did.
You kind of, in so many words, yeah.
So here, Phillips. Yes, I'm not good at humaning, but I'm not even sure I'm a good zero. But I'm a totally great aardvark or left mitten. I've found that nobody thinks aardvarks or left mittens are good for anything, and therefore they have very low expectations. Totally good at that. Keep that bar
These
low.
people have never. They've never employed an aardvark assassin. Those are consummate professionals.
I'm working on 5 little black kitten assassins. Currently, we're
Assassin Kitty coming right up.
oh my gosh. So the last few days, they've the German Shepherd has been loose while the kittens are loose. So my German Shepherd loves them. Loves them. Like abominable snowman, I'm going to hug it and squeeze it and call it George, loves them. He loves babies. He's German Shepherd brained. But he's also 90 plus pounds, and these guys got into the house at like 6 ounces, something like that. So he's been very curtailed because I don't want him to accidentally step on them, things like that. And he does occasionally still try to pick them up with his mouth. But it has been absolutely hilarious watching him try to mother hen all 5 of them as they go in different directions. So their assassin training is coming along. They are not afraid of the German Shepherd and haven't been since like pretty early. There's a lot of pictures where he like lays his head on them. And even though they're somewhat squished, they just have the annoyed look of why. Or he tries to clean them, and they also don't love that. They don't move and they don't get mad. They just have that look of, it's that cat look.
Are the cats old enough to know that they're cats, or are they gonna think they're dogs?
Well, technically, I brought them
Doesn't
home at
matter,
7
they'll
weeks.
still do the job.
I brought them home at 7 weeks, but I don't know how developmentally delayed they are because they were the size of like 4-week old kittens. So I don't know. They might end up thinking they're dogs.
Terroristic Papillons.
They're
They're going to be terroristic Papillons.
Yeah, well, I mean, the German
Papillons
Shepherd's a
with little-
Papillon.
Okay, because that is one of the weird things I know about cats is that cats actually adapt to what raises them. So
Well, that
you
makes
got
sense.
them around dogs, they're gonna be
Right.
really good with dogs. You got them if you raise them just with humans, they're going to think they're baby forever.
There are other cats in the household, so
Well,
yeah.
sort of. They're
Could be a mix.
So, well, Cutie Honey will have nothing to do with them. She's an old fixed cat, and she's like, nope. So right now it's so cold here that the cats are inside
Oh my God.
because I don't want them outside if it's below freezing. I know I'm told that
That
they're
is the
outdoor
best
cats and that they'll be fine, but I don't like that. So Cutie Honey I've had forever. She's elderly. And then we just got Yule Cat 2 days before Yule. Somebody dumped this beautiful, great, I had pictures up, great cat. So, but he's also inside right now. But he's not been allowed to play with the kittens because he's a sweet cat and he's very people friendly. But he's a little aggressive. And I don't think he's trying to hurt the kittens, but he's not as careful with his claws as my leg can attest to. And I was afraid he would play too rough with them. Like the German Shepherd knows better, but the not quite year-old cat, I don't know that I trust him. Lady Steaks, you're better with cats.
Am I?
I think you are. You know a lot more about cats than I do.
I think that they'll be just fine.
I don't know if they'll think they're dogs or not.
They will be very dog friendly. They may be dog what's the word I'm looking for?
I will say this. If the dogs start mother henning them, several of them now purr when the dogs start mother henning.
Yeah.
Like,
they
you might
will-
pick it up and they'll be like, okay, whatever. But then the Papillons start mother henning them and they'll actually purr. And Gotti is laying on them and they're cold because they can't regulate temperature, so he's trying to keep them warm, and they'll purr.
I have no doubt that when they are removed to the outside in the spring, summer, that as soon as the Papillons come out, they will be all over the Papillons going, "You're here, we love you." That doesn't mean that they will not hunt and do cat things.
So they'll still have cat brain. They just happen to love the doggos. Oh,
Yeah.
Yule Cat, because, and we've only had him since December 19th. I've had him since, so he actively plays with the German Shepherd. Like, he will roll over on his back and bap at him. And the German Shepherd's just in high heaven because that's his baby too. They're all his babies. Okay, so we are close. We're actually a little over time. So what I'm hearing is no, this is not normal behavior, although there seems to be a tendency towards some of this behavior. And that there are some weirder, deeper, what the heck's going on. And I think the over consensus is that, yeah, if you pretty much only use modules, you're probably going to be a bit railroady. Did I get it right, guys? And women, Sarah, Lady Six.
This is one I've been thinking about a lot. I'm going to continue thinking about it because I hate pigeonholing it quite to that extreme because I think a lot of it has to do with experience and what you're exposed to.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that I played with a group of people and the GM was like, we're not going to use a module. We don't have to use the books. We're just going to freeform this and communicate about what we think is fair, what will work, what won't work. If we have questions about, like, we're going to create it all. And that's fine for this session because that's how we're doing it. None of us we were camping or something stupid. None of us had dice, which never happened to me again. I always have dice on me now. But we use like a flipping of a coin to make decisions and stuff like that instead of figuring dice rolls. The concept to some of the people was so foreign that they couldn't allow themselves to participate in that. It was too like, that's not right. You have to have the paper and the books and the dice and the book has to tell you how to do it. And right. For those of us that allowed ourselves to participate, it impacted, I mean, how we looked at gaming and role playing and how you could role play and communication and how you interacted with your fellow players and your GM. And I mean, it was to some of us completely life altering. Some in a great way, some in not a great way.
Lady Styx.
Yeah.
Back in the day, this is a long time ago. We're not going to say when because I don't remember when. The intro to the book flat out said, these are not rules. They are just guidelines.
Absolutely. And I think that's been lost because people, they like that safety net. They like knowing there's some players that like, they want that safety net of it's going to go from here and then we're going to turn left and we're going to go into a room and the room's going to be like this. And you know what I mean? Yes, I don't know. But I think there's a lot more things that affect it. I think experience, I think what you want out of your sessions and your gaming experience.
Always outliers.
Yeah.
So I like Maddie's comment. The GM is a narcissist and inexperienced, although he supposedly has like 20, almost 30 years. People generally suck.
Supposedly.
So, he says, so smirk emojis are great. I think that's an encapsulation of my feelings on today. So I've got one last question, if you guys will permit it. So the one guy rage quit. And now I'm looking at are we going back and trying to rewrite this? Do I need to make a new character? I don't know, right? How do I gracefully get out of this? Because that's the one thing that seems to be very constant is that this is probably not a table I should stay at. So what's the graceful?
Fuck himself.
I said graceful.
That's the graceful
I
way.
said graceful, Maddie.
That is the graceful way.
Invite him to go fuck himself.
Invite him. Is it politer? We invite you to go. How is that the graceful way? No, there's no pizza. It's online. You got to get your own pizza. It sucks, JP. Sorry. Anybody who goes and listens at some point and can't see the screen, JP asked if yes, but is there pizza? And the answer is no. Fuck that guy. No, I'm kidding. Is that the graceful way?
We cordially invite you to go. Yes, you cordially invite them to go sodomize themselves.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's it. That's your winner, right?
If it was me, I would just simply say,
sorry, Savage.
Wow,
thing just got. You're cordially invited to celebrate this momentous occasion to go fuck yourself. You obviously said or did something to someone and they thought you could use this condom to literally go fuck. Oh, wow. I love that. Sorry. You were saying.
That was a thing. It exists.
It exists.
If it was me.
Put that in the mail.
If it was me, I would just say, this is no longer serving my needs. Your needs is not a situation I choose to continue to participate in, and just politely say, thank you for the opportunity. I'm gone. You don't have to.
Also,
I mean,
seek help.
honestly, the
So
short way to say it is go fuck yourself. But
So-
there are
so
other ways you can
shouldn't
word that,
I-
so it's not quite so harsh.
shouldn't I play like a couple 3 games and then just do the age old I have a conflict of schedule? JP, what do you think?
No,
But your name is also not JP.
no.
You are not everybody's name tonight, Lady Six. JP, what do you think?
So my thing is, I would just say, hey, not having a good time. I don't think this game is for me anymore. I'm gonna nope out. Thanks for the time. I did have a good time, but I just don't think it's for me. Come up with the same old, lame old. I got other things going on in life right now, and I can't make time for this anymore.
All right. Who haven't we? Mr. Pink, did you chime in? I think you did.
I just said that Lady Styx is more polite than I am. I would have probably gone with the condom option.
I kind of like the condom option.
I-
I'd have to know
I'm-
his like
I'm
real
gonna
address to
draw-
send it, but
I'm going to draw attention to Maddie's comment on the boards, which is honestly, Andy, no, the GM needs to be called out on his shit. And I completely 100% agree with Maddie. I believe if you're like, no, I'm going to play a couple more sessions and then just bow out and give an excuse like, I don't have time, whatever, then you are allowing him to continue to treat you like that and potentially treat other people like that. And I don't think that that's cool. Yeah, I agree with Sarah. You're only torturing yourself. Thank you, Sarah.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, Sarah, I fall asleep about 70-85% of the time in the game. So, I mean, and I have trouble sleeping. So that's a plus, right? That's worst
like-
Dude, you
positive
are an
ever.
awesome sedative. I'm gonna stay with you.
Wow.
Savage put it really well. My honest response, thank you, but I don't feel comfortable at this table, and then let them stew on it. No explanations further. I think that is the politest, non-confrontational way, I guess you could kind of deal with it. I as a lifelong learner and educator, I would find the need to be like, to at least leave open the and why, and then the explanation. But you don't have to. I think that's a savage. That's that probably politest way you could handle it.
I don't disagree on calling him out, by the way. I just, that way, there is no reprisal possible really, towards Andy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Phil, I love you need to be holding a fan. You need to be not only holding a fan, but you need to be speaking into it so it has that slightly metallic voice too. Sorry, my inner 2-year-old is coming out. Oh.
All right. This has been fantastic. I hearts all of you. I think we're gonna say goodbye because I need a nap and I need to kidnap Philip and ask him a couple questions. And Sarah, you better stick around in case I get all sexual harassy. Just because it'd probably be sexually harassing you, but stick around just in case. I'm kidding. You don't have to.
That and the fact that she sits right next to me is also, well, she'll stick around.
See, I love the giant
there it
fan.
is.
That's
There's my
beautiful. I think you've sent me this
Yep.
pic. Look at that
Yeah.
fan. That is an epic fan. I'm just saying. It's awesome.
Oh.
All right.
That's my response to most things.
I mean, Lady Six, what I probably ought to do is go True Southern Belle and bless their hearts.
I think that's exactly what you should do. You should offer to bake them a pie, honey.
Oh, God. We all know you're in a lot of shit when I offer to bake you a pie, just because that's apparently what you do as a Southern lady.
All right.
Yes,
I do agree
actually,
with
Maddie,
Andy.
that's maybe a question, but that's okay.
So what you're saying is if you piss off Southern ladies, you get pie?
No, they offered to
trust
bake you
me,
one,
don't
and you don't want
always
that pie.
want the pie. You don't want to eat that pie.
That's not
Trust me.
the
Oh.
good take it to church Sunday pie, honey. That's not.
Yeah, no.
I
it's
like
not
pie, though.
And the
That's
offer,
arsenic and ground glass.
so like, it's bless your heart is not good, I should bake you a pie is worse. It's a worse thing. It's further down the list.
Oh, sweet. I'm going to pray for you.
Yes. Yeah. It's above that, but you're getting close. I'm just saying.
Oh.
All right. So with
Well,
that, we're going to sign off as far as the recording. So I'm going to say goodnight, everyone. Lady Sticks.
Night.
Our wonderful official, unofficial Mr. Pink.
Yeah, good night all. Have a great week.
Ari's right, Maddie, with his great advice.
Eat more salt.
There you go. Dire Sith Lord, do you
And
want to say
Maddie
goodnight?
gets to have a good day.
Hell yeah, Maddie gets to have a good day. He also needs to have another Maddie's matinee. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dire
All
Sith.
right. If you can't be good, be
Yeah.
safe.
There you go. JP.
Yeah.
Good night.
Keep on painting. Keep on playing.
There you go, sir. Philip and Sarah.
Good night.
Good night. We're here.
Although
Savage.
we'll stick around after.
Yes. Savage.
Hi, everybody.
I think last word goes to Maddie to say goodnight.
He already
said eat
did.
more
Yeah, you
salt.
did? I told you. That's
My
right.
fault, yeah.
I need to this. See, that's why we're stopping. I am hitting the done.